hate COVID. Just going to be honest. On a positive note, I am so glad to be back. I missed recording Amina's Moments. I'm telling you, it was hard being away because I have these thoughts, I have these ideas, and I couldn't do anything with them. But I did spend a lot of time with my family over the summer, so I'm just ready to dive right in. Are you guys ready to go along with me on this journey? I want to say thank you guys for joining me for another Amina's Moment. I got my notes here. I am ready to go. All right, so how many of you all have ever lived in a climate where it was extremely cold? Let me just say I have, and my family and I, we moved from the Midwest. I used to live in the suburbs of Chicago, and being there, it would get cold. I'm telling you, really, really cold. I'm going to start over. Hello, everyone. I hate COVID. Sick of it. Ready for it to be over. On another note, thank you for joining me for another Amina's Moment. I am so glad to be back with you all. I've missed you. I've missed recording. I have all these thoughts, all these ideas, and I couldn't do anything with them. But I did spend a lot of time with my family over the summer. It's been great. I am ready to dive back in to Amina's Moment. I have my notes here. I'm ready to go. Are you ready to go with me? So glad that you are. So let's get started. One of the things that I thought about this particular video was a tree and the fruit. So have you ever seen a piece of damaged fruit? I have. And you think about, well, how was it damaged? What happened? Was there something? Did it fall off the tree the wrong way? Was it tampered with? All of these are just some thoughts. So just think about this. As a tree, the parent talking to you, mom, dad, guardian. It could be whomever has custody of this particular child or teen. When you think about a tree talking about you, if in fact I can help the tree, then possibly I can help the fruit. Am I saying that a tree is only going to produce healthy fruit if it's healthy and that's all it's going to produce? Absolutely not. There may be some damaged pieces along the way. But I do believe that if in fact a tree is tended to, maintained, is tended a word? I don't think it is. Let's scratch that one. But if it is maintained, if it's given care and actually taken care of, there is that chance that it will produce healthy fruit. So what I'm saying to you today, let's think about you as a parent basically being taken care of by Amina's Moment in order to produce healthy fruit. Your children, your teens. Okay, so that's the approach that we're going to take. So I want to ask you a question. Have you ever lived in a climate, a part of the United States, where it got really, really cold? Because I have. And so I want to talk about that just for a second. I remember living in the Midwest. That's where my family and I moved from before we moved to the West Coast. And thinking about how cold it got, my husband was at the point of, he's like, I'm tired of this cold weather. It would be below zero temps, wind chill factor below zero, just downright cold. And one of the things that people would do to prevent their pipes in their homes from freezing, they would allow for just a little bit of water to kind of drip out of the faucet. And this actually allowed the pipes not to freeze. So it prevented that because there was this constant movement of water. I was actually talking to my husband about this, and he made a statement. He said, water that doesn't move will freeze. And I thought about that, and I was thinking about parenting, and I was thinking about teens and the relationship, and I realized that consistency is key. So if you, as the parent, if you are consistent, there is really, it's going to limit, not completely prevent, but limit the chance of your teen getting stuck in a position that is not healthy, because they realize that you're consistently listening. They realize that you're consistently communicating. They realize that you're consistently involved with their life. That is very important. So when I was thinking about living in that cold climate, there would be times I would be outside and you could find me, I was like moving, because the more movement, the more heat that was generated. Again, doing something that is going to create an environment, a feeling that was a little bit more inviting. So in cold weather, yes, you could find me moving around, doing my hands like this. Have you ever done that? Because I know that I have. Trying to generate heat while I'm actually outside. I was consistent with the layers of clothing. I was consistent with what my jacket was, or not even a jacket. Let's be real. It was a coat. Okay. It was not just like this light, thin piece of material. This was a coat. And so it made a difference in my body versus if I were actually just standing still in these below zero temps. I bring up this example because I want you to understand the importance of being consistent with your child or your teen. So I'm going to take a little drink here of water. I love, having a moment. Let's just take a break. Got to be consistent with the water intake. You hear that, Amina? I'm listening. I don't think I drink enough water, so I'm trying to work on that. But parents, when you are trying to connect with your teen and you find that maybe the connection is not there anymore, or it's not just maybe the way that it used to be, I want you to remember this key word: continue. Continue. You must continue to show your interest in your teen. This is important, even if it's hard to do. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. And here is another thought. So I was thinking about what could I demonstrate, and I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to tell you afterwards what I'm doing. I am literally just taking my finger, the nail, and I'm tapping it on the desk here. And what I thought about when I was thinking about continue, I'm like, if I continued to do this, at some point, my nail is going to either break, reshape, be damaged a little bit. Maybe not damaged per se, maybe that example, yes, but it might chip a little bit. But if I were to do that consistently, a change is going to take place in the shape of my nail. In parenting, you must continue. You cannot stop. I know a child or a teen, they will try their hardest, not necessarily to break you, but to maybe remold you as a parent, try to convince you to come over to their side a little bit. Let me influence you a little bit. No, you have to continue in your pursuit of parenting and be consistent. You must do that. So I wanted to say that as you are continuing to parent, don't give up. Please continue. And I'm just going to ask if you would, if you have an opportunity to just take a moment after you view this, or even now, if you want to type in something that you've tried that has worked with your relationship with your teen that might help somebody else, go ahead and type that in the comment section. You never know who may read it. You never know who may need to see it. Take the time. Let's plant a seed in somebody else's life. Go ahead and do that. I told you all I got to work on drinking my water and do better with that. I'll get there. All right. So as you are typing your idea of what you've done that has improved the relationship between you and your teen, we're going to keep going. Okay. All right. So continue. Make sure you don't give up. Are teens the easiest people to talk to? No, they are not. It is evident. But guess what? Were you really easy to talk to and deal with 24/7 between the ages of, let's say, I'm going to push it. So like say 12 to 19. Were you the easiest? Can I answer for you? I know you're just like, okay, Amina, what is it now? Okay, the answer is no. Let's go with that. Because I know for me, I was not the easiest person to deal with 100% of the time. Actually, I'm not the easiest person to probably deal with now. But my parents, I'm not even going to say that they were perfect, but they were consistent in trying to connect with me. I remember when I was younger, my dad, he actually purchased these it was like a log cabin type building thing. And when when I came over to his house, he's like, I have this surprise for you. I was really excited. I'm like, finally, my dad is actually getting me this toy that I want. I walk in, it's this building like log cabin. It was one of the worst experiences of my life because it was horrible. He was so excited. He's like, we're going to build these log cabins and with the doors and the windows. And I'm like, I don't want to build something. That was not my thing. But we, as father and daughter, we kept going till we found something that we would be able to connect with. My father always wanted a son. Well, he got this amazing daughter. But I will say this. I had to, as a teen, start trying to meet him halfway. We would watch football games. I did not understand, but I took the time to understand. He was really into jazz music. I thought that was sleepy time music. So I napped very well as he listened to this station. It doesn't even exist anymore in Chicago. WNUA 95.5. Don't ask me why I remember it. I just do. But my parents were consistent in trying to reach me as a teen. My moods changed. My thoughts changed. My attitude, happy 1 minute, unhappy the next. You've met people like that. You've met teenagers like that. Their hormones are all over the place. But again, my parents, their approach, that's the one thing that did not change. Their no was a no. I can't really recall many times that they gave out empty threats. If you don't do this, then you won't be able to do that. And if I did it, they had to stick to the no. Because I think you guys know this. Your children, your teens, they know when it's pretty much like, I think there's some flexibility here. Mom didn't really mean no. She was just upset at me. I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. Think about that. Are you throwing out those empty threats and saying, if you do this, then this is going to be the consequence. And then they do it anyway, and then you change your mind. Now your words and your correction, what you're trying to do and impart to them, it's really losing the weight that's needed. So there were no empty threats. I knew when my parents were serious, and I knew when they were in the mood of like, okay, look, we're just going to give you another chance. There was some grace. I'm so glad they had grace because I was not this perfect child by far. My mother always told me that if I got caught doing something, it's not that it was the first time I did it. It was the first time I got caught. Just a little secret. She was right. I can't stand that. She was right about that. But I knew the ins and outs of what my parents showed me as a teen. And of course, I thought my parents were just outdated, ancient, old, because my parents were 38 and 48 when I was born. So I didn't have young parents. I had parents that were significantly older than I was. And I felt that they couldn't relate to me, but their consistency kept me on a certain path. Am I saying that I did not veer from where they wanted me to go? Absolutely not. I am not saying that. But I am saying that as a parent, I want you to continue to be consistent. If you want to find some things that your teen likes or that you guys could do together, be consistent with that. Let's just say that every Wednesday, for me, I like baking cookies. It doesn't have to be from scratch. I just like baking cookies. If I were a teen now, if that was something that I just enjoyed doing, that would be the one thing that I would say, you know what? I would love to do this with my mom. There are many times that parents don't really know how to connect and how to find that consistent moment, or how to continue in the I'm not going to give up on my teen. But if you can just find one thing just to start that you would be able to enjoy with your child, with your teen, even if it's something that you don't understand, maybe they will take the time to explain it to you, because they're thinking like, wow, mom and dad are actually trying to be involved in my life, not lecturing me all the time, but just trying to find out what it is that I like to do, and maybe they can join me. Because if you are not your teen's, your child's biggest influence, someone or something is. I believe that with everything that's in me. It is truly a part of, wow, what is influencing this teen, this child, more so than their parent? If you find out, again, something that you can connect with your child or teen, I believe in my heart that it's going to be something that will carry you to the next and to the next. I think I've shared this, and maybe I haven't. I remember some years ago, I was sitting in my office. I hope you guys remember, I'm a school counselor, and I have my degree behind me. And so one of the students came in to see me, and it's my maiden name, so it's Amina Sharif. And he said, "Are you Muslim?" And I said, "No." I said, "But my dad was, And I tell this one little story because that particular student, he was kind of hard to really to connect with via email. Came into my office and saw my maiden name, and all of a sudden it was like he just kind of, I think I can talk to you. Even though I told him that I was not Muslim, it was the fact that there was some sort of relatable moment. I do not remember what his background was. I don't think I can't remember exactly where he was from, but I know that he was Muslim. I don't remember the country. But thinking about that and realizing if I can find one little bitty thing to connect with someone that I need to connect with, I have to grab it as soon as that opportunity presents itself. At that moment, that student, he was like, "So how did your parents decide on the spelling of your name? Aamina." So then I was able to tell him the story of how my dad asked my mom if my name could be an Islamic name, and she allowed my sister to go through this book and find the name, and my sister said that was the one that she really liked. And I don't really like my middle name, but don't tell my sister that. But my point is, I found that one little piece that would be able to connect that student and myself. So I just want you to find the tiniest thing and build on it. Just like my dad and I were building those cabins that I did not like at all. I mean, I'm telling you, it was bad. It was really bad. But just like he was trying to find a way to connect with me, then we kind of moved on to football. I learned about football and what the extra point meant. Touchdown. Okay, that's about all I know. But he actually worked with me and explained some things, what the yards meant, and second and fourth and all that stuff. Like it's little bitty things that I do remember, because I remember him trying to connect Daddy and Amina together. Thank you for joining me for another Amina's Moment. Keep in mind, continue, don't give up, parents, and I will see you next time.